There's our bell. Good morning, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to First Unitarian Church in New Bedford. I am Reverend Karen LeBlanc. I minister to this congregation as we minister to each other. We are a beloved community of people who believe that everyone is worthy of respect, that science is real, that the democratic process is a sacred thing, that we are all part of an interconnected web, and that the light and energy that we share and put out makes a difference in this world. We are people of purpose here, and if what you hear today resonates with you, we hope you will consider becoming part of this way cool family of seekers and keepers of this long dream. Thanks, Rick. Little bit of housekeeping before we get started. Please, this is our blue card. This blue card puts you on our mailing list. It does not make you a member. If you would like to be a member, we would love for you to be a member. All you need to do is please come talk to me, and we will sign you up for that. We are creating a brochure right now, but we're having our new Members Sunday on the 23rd of this month. So if you'd like to sign up, this is the time to do it so you can vote in our annual meeting. Okay, second, join us for coffee hour after the service. We're going to have a little bit of a truncated coffee hour because the Martha Briggs Society is having their Lenten tea here this afternoon at 1 o'clock, so we want to get in, have a cup of coffee, and go home and go do some gardening maybe. Let's see, we are live streaming, as you probably know, so please be aware of that. I'm thinking, now is the time where we're all planting seeds to get ready for the harvest to come in the summertime. And I know I planted a bunch this week, and I have half packets of seeds all over the place that are still great. Anybody want to bring theirs in? I'm going to bring mine in starting next week, maybe over the course of the month. People can bring in their leftover seeds or bring in some seeds to share, and we can do a little seed exchange. Seems like a bright and springy thing to do. What else? Poetry service, 4/16, 16th of this month. Please let me know if you would like to participate. It will be an open mic, so you can just show up, but there might be a very long list of people that have already signed up before you did, so just so that you know. Give me a call. Let's see. Please put your phones into silent mode, worship mode, as we call it here. And the last thing, there are surveys in the parish hall. If y'all wouldn't mind filling one out so we can move forward with our great new committee and get some things going for the future, that would be terrific. They are right in the parish hall. Please take the time. If you can't fill it out today, bring one home and send it back. Who would like to light the chalice this morning? Lexi? He tried to commandeer my microphone earlier. I wouldn't let him. Oh boy. Hard to light a chalice with no matches. That's better. Don't burn your finger. Oh.
That's why we gotta do a teamwork. All right, you won.
One more time.
Sometimes it's not easy to light a chalice.
A lot of things are not easy sometimes. It takes time to learn these things, you know? We all expect to know things right off the bat. No, it takes practice. There you go. Woo! All right. Thank you. Perseverance. Our chalice lighting words this morning are from Andrea Hawkins Camper. Blessed are we who gather with open hearts together in this space today. Blessed are we, the chalice lighters of resistance, justice, love, and faith. Blessed are we, the heretics, the outcasts, the walkers of our own way. Blessed are we, the border crossers, the refugees, the immigrants, the poor, the wanderers who are not lost. Blessed are we, the transgressors, the trespassers, the passers-by, the cause-takers, the defiant, the compliant. Blessed are we, the hand extenders, the sign makers, the protesters, the protectors. Blessed are we, the trans women, the trans men, the non-binary, the cisgender, the multigender, the no gender. Blessed are we, the friend, the stranger, the lonely, the hidden, the visible, the authentic. Blessed are we who rise in solidarity. Blessed are we who cannot. Blessed are we who do not. Blessed are we, for this, my friends, is our beloved community, and this is who we are. Our opening words this morning are from Reverend Gretchen Haley. Although there remains too much evidence of the world breaking apart at coastlines, congressional hearings, and kitchen tables, inside the quiet places of the heart and mine, there resides still the seeds, the longing to return to this knowing that we belong together. We belong to each other, to this earth, this life, to remember ourselves and all of our lost pieces. Beloved, in ways that cannot be undone, to dwell here in this healing, this hope, this wholeness is our practice of resistance. Even in rage, we refuse to relinquish gratitude or joy. That's the bottom line, my friends. So come and let us worship together. Now, if you will join me, if you do not have a yellow hymnal, we will be using this today. Our first song by the great Woody Guthrie, protest songwriter extraordinaire, number 146, page 146, I should say, in the yellow hymnal. Please rise as you are willing and able.
This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As I went walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. I rambled, and I followed my footsteps to the sparkling sands of her diamond deserts, and all around me a voice was sounding. This land was made for you and me. When the sun comes shining, then I was strolling, and the wheat fields waving, and the dust clouds rolling. A voice was chanting as the fog was lifting. This land was made for you and me.
Please be seated. Now, please take the time to greet one another. Sorry, I shouldn't have told you to be seated so quickly. That's my husband over there. Make sure you say hi to him. He doesn't come here all the time. Now, if you wouldn't mind standing to read our covenant together, which is printed in your order of service. We come together as a religious community, upholding freedom of conscience, right relationship, and the inherent worth of all people. We value our diversity and pledge to care for one another in the spirit of compassion, to speak and listen to each other with respect, and to promote justice and kindness in the world. So may it be. We have our RE director, Yasmin Flay Vincent, to tell us a story.
So today's story is a true story that happened in a little fishing village. And I thought, oh, well, we're like a little fishing village, more like a little city village fishing type. So it's called The Whispering Town by Jennifer Elfgren. And our theme this month is resistance. And I think it's really important to realize what people did and still do for each other. So this speaks to it. Now, I did have some props, but I decided against them because I think you'll get the librarian, the baker, and the farmer, and how much they too add to this story. So there are new friends in the cellar, Annette, Mama said. Take down some breakfast to them. I paused at the top of the stairs. The cellar scared me because it was dark, but the whispering voices gave me the courage. When I reached the bottom, I entered the secret room where there hid Danish Jews from the Nazis. A woman and her son on a cot. I'm Annette. Mama made you breakfast. I'm Carl. She handed him a roll and a soft-boiled egg. We thank you so much. Back upstairs, I sat down to my own breakfast. How long are our friends going to be here? 2 nights. But on the 3rd night, we're going to get them on a boat to Sweden. While they're here, we're going to need more bread. So after breakfast, she goes to the bakery. We have new friends here, she says. Here's a little extra. And he hands it to me and says, stay safe. On the way home, she saw some Nazis knock on a door across the street. Even though they had been in my town for a long time, my stomach still knotted every time I saw them. Mama, Papa, soldiers are across the street. Mama tapped on the cellar door 3 times to warn our friends. After they left, Papa looked up at the cloudy sky. No moon tonight. It's going to be difficult for our friends to find the way in the darkness. The next day, I took some more food to the cellar. Again, I met whispering voices. This time, I'm going to get you some library books. It's going to help the time pass. So, of course, Annette goes to the librarian and says, we have some new friends. So she gives her a few extra books. And on the way home, she sees Nazi soldiers across the street, and they're knocking on her neighbor's door. Mama, Papa, they're next door. 3 times on the cellar door to warn their new friends. And again, no moon tonight. Again, the next morning, I let those whispering voices guide me to the cellar. As Carl reached into the breakfast basket, a heart-shaped stone fell to the floor. Carl picked it up. I found this with my dad the last time we walked on a beach. Isn't it beautiful? Annette, we need more eggs, Papa said when we finished breakfast. And of course, Annette went to the farmer and he gave them some extra eggs. Except on the way home, she saw the Nazis heading for her house. She cut across the alley and she raced to the back door. Mama, Papa, the soldiers are coming to our house. They didn't answer me. Nobody was home. I tapped 3 times on the cellar door because that's what my mom told me to do. Then I heard it. I opened it a crack. We've heard there's rumors someone's hiding Jewish people on this street. Well, I didn't hear any rumors, said Annette. If we find them, we're going to arrest everyone. And trembling, I closed the door. The soldiers were here, I said when my mom and Pop returned, and they're looking for hidden Jews. Brave Annette, our friends must leave tonight. Even though it's cloudy, how are we going to get them to the harbor? Well, I thought about it. Papa, what if people stood in their doorways and they used their voices to guide our friends to the boat? You know, that might work. Let's put the plan into action. So I ran to the baker, the librarian, and the farmer, and I told them about the plan, and they agreed to spread the word around the village. And at midnight, Carl and his mom, they came up from the cellar, and he pressed the heart-shaped stone into my hand. And he said, "Remember me always, Annette." And I held that little heart against my own. After Carl and his mama slipped away into the night, I leaned as far as I could out my bedroom window, and I heard our neighbors whisper from the doorways, "This way, this way, this way." And then our neighbors, they kept going and going, and those whispers guided Carl and his mom to the boat. And I squeezed that stone in my hand, and I imagined them walking free on the beach in Sweden. 1,700 Jewish people were led out of this little town in Galilee to safety in Sweden because the Nazis were trying to take over the Denmark. For a while, they were like, "Oh yeah, okay." And then finally, they started to resist. That's when Germany took over. So talk about resistance. Would you do that today? Would you bring someone into your home to help them? So off we go to Sunday school. May words they say be kind and true. May love be a guide in all we do. May kindness sing within your hearts. And may peace be with us while we're apart.
What a powerful story. Have fun at Sunday school, kids. Okay. Candles. Hope I have better luck lighting these candles than Lexi did. Let's see. Oh, what do they do with the matches now? So now is the time in our service where we share with each other our joys, our sorrows, our fears. If you have something you'd like to share, please come on up and tell us about it. I will light the candle for you.
I'm just thankful for the fact that it's spring. It's my first spring in New Bedford, so I'm really excited to experience it. Love the weather, love how it's getting warmer, getting sunnier, how the days are getting longer, and I feel like this is a great point just to take account and take stock of everything that is in my life and kind of know like what works, what can I spring clean, and how can I use this as a good base point for just making things even better down the road.
Terrific. Come on up, Rochelle. Michelle.
So yesterday, Jack and I celebrated our 34th wedding anniversary on April Fool's Day. Yeah. That's the good news. And unfortunately, 2 of my good friends this week told me that they have been diagnosed with advanced cancer. So keep Dave and Carrie in your prayers. Thank you.
We'll light our healing candle for Dave and Carrie right now. Come on up, Donna.
Hello, my name is Donna. I am a member of this church. I have not been coming from a lot of the Sundays out of this year. I suffer from pretty bad anxiety, and I've kind of been in a funk all year. Been out of work for a few months, and I've been looking, and I finally do have a nice part-time job that I'm enjoying, and I feel quite a bit better surrounding myself with there's like very kind people where I'm working, which is really helpful, and not having so much time on my hands and being so up in my own head is really, really helpful. So I am making it a point to coming to church, making this a part of my routine. So hopefully things will fall back into place for me. I'm definitely already feeling better. I would like to make myself a part of this community in New Bedford, never mind just this church, you know, and be a positive member of society. Today is my mom's 89th birthday. This is her crazy leopard sweater, because she is a crazy redhead. So I feel so blessed she's still in my life, you know. My daughter's not in my life, but my mom is. You know, I could choose to look at, you know, the negatives, but I choose to look at the positives. But when I get stuck in my head, the negatives take over, and I don't want that to happen anymore. It's too easy to slip into that. So just so grateful to be here, and I don't want to ramble on, so I will shut up.
Thank
And
you, Donna. We love you, baby.
And I found out I can get another hearing. I can get 2 hearing aids, too.
Yay!
There were so many positive things. I will be able to hear more.
Oh, you like a redhead? Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, church. Let's do this again. Good morning, church. Good morning. It's just hard groups sometimes. Yeah, I know. Easy to love them, though. Okay. Personally, my health is improving. All right. Secondly, I want to tell you that our Social Justice Committee is meeting for 10 minutes after services today. All of you are welcome to be part of that. And all of you are welcome to be part of our Zoom meeting come this Wednesday night at 6:30. We just let us know and we'll put you on the list and you can participate with us. As Karen said in her note to all of us, the Social Justice Committee is growing. We would love to have all of you on the committee. We need you. We have a very ambitious program for the next fiscal year, and we would love for all of you to be part of that. Good morning. Thank you. All right.
This week we celebrated Trans Day of Visibility, so I want to give a shout out of love to our trans friends in our community. Woohoo! And if you haven't noticed, our LGBTQ center over here on 8th Street, across the street from us, is coming along really nicely, and they poured the front steps this week. So it's looking great, and and they also just get an influx of about $1.5 million more to put toward it. So terrific. And I will light 2 candles, as is our practice here, one for all the and the sorrows that we keep in our hearts today, and one for all the people in our community that have yet to find out that they are actually Unitarians. That's what they've been looking for, and have yet to find a good place like this to share their joys and their sorrows. Side are you on? Our first reading this morning is from Maria Popova. Don't just resist cynicism, fight it actively. Fight it in yourself. For this ungainly beast lays dormant in each of us. And counter it in those you love and engage with by modeling its opposite. Cynicism often masquerades as nobler faculties and dispositions, but it is categorically inferior. Unlike that great Rilkean life-expanding doubt, it is a contracting force. Unlike critical thinking, that pillar of reason and necessary counterpart to hope, it is inherently uncreative, easier and lazier than construction. There is nothing more difficult, yet more gratifying in our society than living with faith in the human spirit. This faith remains the most potent antidote to cynicism. Today especially, it is an act of courage and resistance. Amen. Now, please join me as we enter into a period of prayer and meditation. This is by Joan Javier Duval. Holy mystery, silent presence, uncertain bearer of the weight of it all. In these quiet moments, we listen. We listen for the maybe still breathing, perhaps still whispering, faintest sign of the universal good. We listen between the cacophony of distractions pulling us toward untruth and falsehood. We listen amidst the shrill cries of desperation, of we've had enough, of when will they stop killing my people, of how much more will the waters rise, of when will it be safe to return home, of how much longer can I hang on. We listen and we wait. Through the tumult of these days, we seek assurance. We seek the fulfillment of a promise made to ourselves, a promise made to those we have been stretched to call our neighbor, a promise written and enshrined and yet unfulfilled. Help us, abiding mystery, to hang on, to hold on when all is in question, when all is in doubt. Help us stay firm to our own commitments and our own promises. Lead us back into connection, back into the bonds of humanity that help us know each other as beloved. May we continue listening. May we keep watch. May we beckon love and justice and mercy with our own whispers, with our shouts, with our cries, until all know themselves part of this circle of love. Amen. That was one of the first protest songs I ever learned. I think that U2 album came out when I was about 14, maybe 15, and I was listening to it in the house, and my dad said, "Sunday, bloody Sunday, do you know what that means?" I said, "No." And I'm not going to give you a history lesson in Irish history. You can go and Google that yourselves, but I'm glad that my dad caught it and sat me down and told me what it was about. And that I finally understood that that was a protest song. Our second reading this morning is a piece I love by Wendell Berry called Manifesto, the Mad Farmer Liberation Front. Love the quick profit, the annual raise, vacation with pay. Want more of everything ready-made. Be afraid to know your neighbors and to die, and you will have a window in your head. Not even your future will be a mystery anymore. Your mind will be punched in a card and shut away in a little drawer. When they want you to buy something, they will call you. When they want you to die for profit, they will let you know. So friends, every day, do something that won't compute. Love the Lord, love the world, work for nothing, take all that you have and be poor. Love someone who does not deserve it. Denounce the government and embrace the flag. Hope to live in that free republic for which it stands. Give your approval to all you cannot understand. Praise ignorance for what man has not encountered, he has not destroyed. Ask the questions that have no answers. Invest in the millennium. Plant sequoias. Say that your main crop is the forest that you did not plant, that you will not live to harvest. Say that the leaves are harvested when they have rotted into mold. Call that profit. Prophesy such returns. Put your faith in the 2 inches of humus that will build under the trees every 1,000 years. Listen to carrion. Put your ear close and hear that faint chattering of the songs that are to come. Expect the end of the world. Laugh. Laughter is immeasurable. Be joyful, though you have considered all the facts. So long as women do not go cheap for power, please women more than men. Ask yourself, will this satisfy a woman satisfied to bear a child? Will this disturb the sleep of a woman near to giving birth? Go with your love to the fields. Lie down in the shade, rest your head in her lap. Swear allegiance to what is nighest your thoughts. As soon as the generals and the politicos can predict the motions of your mind, lose it. Leave it as a sign to mark the false trail, the way you didn't go. Be like the fox who makes more tracks than necessary, some in the wrong direction. Practice resurrection. And now, if you will rise as you are willing and able, it is not page 14, it is page 18 in your yellow hymnal, another great protest song, Bread and Roses, page 18.
As we come marching, marching in the beauty of the day, 1,000,000 darkened kitchens, 1,000 workshops gray, are the touched with all the radiance that the sodden disclosures. For the people here are shining bread and roses, bread and roses. As we come marching, marching, we battle too for men. For they are women's children, and we mother them again. Our lives shall not be sweated from the birth until life closes. Hearts starve as well as bodies. Give us bread, but give us roses. As we come marching, marching, unnumbered women dead, go crying through our singing their ancient strong of bread. Small art and love and beauty, their drudging spirits new. Yes, it is bread we fight for Rosen too. As we come marching, marching, we bring on greater days. The rising of the women means the rising of the race. No more the drudge and idler can toil where one reposes, but sharing of life's glories, bread and roses, bread and roses.
Please be seated. Now is the time in our service where we ask you for your kind donations toward the many, many good works of this church. And I'm going to sing a song for you. Southern trees bear a strange fruit, blood on the leaves and blood at the root, black bodies swinging in the southern breeze, strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees. Pastoral scene of the gallant South, the bulging eyes and the twisted mouth, scent of magnolias, sweet and fresh. Then the smell burning flesh. Here is a fruit for the crows to pluck, for the rain to gather, for the wind to suck, for the sun to rot, for the trees to drop. Here is a strange and bitter crowd. Thank you. That's a tough one. Whew. Makes me all googly inside. Our theme this month is resistance. And I have probably had way too much time to think about this. So hold on to your mythological bootstraps. I might just be a little political today. Now, for all the talk of what our founding fathers meant when they crafted the documents that our democratic republic stands on, we cannot forget that at the core, our nation was built on resistance. Resisting the overreach of the Church of England to dictate how we should all believe. Resisting taxation without representation. And finally, not just resisting, but rebelling against those powers who would deny the colonies their right to freedom from such oppressions in order to create a more perfect union. A more perfect union that almost immediately needed to be resisted for its cruelty to the natives of this land and to the slaves who broke their backs to make this a prosperous country for the privileged few. For such an advanced society as we have now, for how far we have come, very little has changed. And the progress toward freedom, liberty, and justice for all is itself resisted by those who would keep the balance of wealth and power in the hands of a few people. As far as freedom and progress are concerned, I think we're kind of backsliding right now. Power does not appreciate progress unless it's their own. Equality is anathema to power. Of course they resist it. We know and understand fully well what "Make America Great Again" means. And it's no coincidence that that movement has inspired white nationalists and bigots to boldly march and spew hate in our streets, attacking people of color and our LGBTQIA neighbors. The thought that all men are created equal has never been realized in this country. And you know what? I don't really believe it ever was intended to. That puts the fight into some perspective for us, the true difficulty of what we undertake. Fighting the powers that be never has been and never will be easy. But we must resist the hate, resist the violence, and resist the powers that tell us, as they have for centuries, that we are not worthy, we are not equal, and we don't deserve to be treated fairly because of our skin color, our gender, our financial situation. We know the lies. If you'd like to know exactly what some of the people who have infiltrated our Congress, our school boards, and a lot of our media really think, all you have to do is listen to what they say about radical leftists. Because we're living in opposite world now, in case you haven't noticed. All the lies that they accuse the other side of are what they promote. Those lefties don't care about the lives of children. That's why we have to make sure abortion is illegal. If they really cared about the lives of children, they would be falling over one another to outlaw guns, the shameful #1 cause of death for our children in this country. They would be so happy to fund low-cost daycare, great schools, free lunches, universal health care. Bring it on. We want the children to be well. They don't give two figs about babies. They care about controlling people with wombs. We will resist. Those lefties hate America. No. We love America enough to admit that it is not a perfect union. We love America enough to want everyone here to live in peace and freedom. We love America because we know that we are a nation of amazing, creative problem solvers, most of whom have a bigger, broader vision for a better country for everyone, not just a few. We don't want to make this country great again, returning to the good old days of overt racism, sexism, and every other ism out there. We want to keep building a better America for all its people. We look forward, not back. We know the lies. We've heard it all before. We will not go backward. We will resist. How about this recent hit? Those lefties want to steal our elections. Okay. Well, we all watched the insurrection to overthrow the last presidential election, and we saw who bragged about it, and we see who continues to celebrate it or deny it. We watch state after state make it harder for its people to vote. Election deniers brazenly running for Secretary of State. And there's one state this week, I don't remember which, that they are actually trying to rewrite their constitution so that the Secretary of State can legally overturn elections. Saw that coming, didn't we? Will we resist? Yes, we will resist. How are we going to resist, you ask? How do we go up against such chaos and insanity? We resist any and every way we can, peacefully and rationally. I've recently been told by a number of people that they are so angry right now, seeing almost daily mass shootings, books being banned, history being denied or watered down so the real snowflakes don't feel bad, and targeting women, LGBTQ persons, taking effect all over this country, trying to write bills to basically unexist them. Makes us all less safe. It makes us all less sure of ourselves, less sure that we have any power at all. You know what? I'm angry too. I'm really angry. But I've learned that screaming and yelling and asking to see the manager, like Karens do, that rarely makes an actual cogent point that people will listen to, right? Today I sang an important song of resistance. Strange Fruit, made famous by the great singer Billie Holiday. And I could have preached this whole sermon just about that song. There's so much to learn about her story, about so much of it. It's such a powerful piece, and Billie Holiday was arrested for singing it. Its lyrics describe racist lynchings that were happening for a long time in our history and still quite prevalent in 1939 when Billie first sang this protest song with such chilling power. Strange Fruit was written, don't know if you know this, by a Jewish communist named Abel Meeropol. And according to a very thoughtful article by a man named Dorian Linsky in The Guardian in 2011, he called it the first protest song, quote, to shoulder an explicit political message into the arena of entertainment. Unlike the robust workers' anthems of the union movement, it did not stir the blood, it chilled it. That is about the ugliest song I have ever heard, Nina Simone would later marvel. Ugly in the sense that it is violent and it tears at the guts of white people that have done for what they have done to my people in this country. For all these reasons, it was something entirely new. Up to this point, protest songs functioned as propaganda, but Strange Fruit proved they could be art. Those earlier snowflakes wanted it banned because it bluntly reminded them that they were bringers of death to black folk. I think it was 1935 when the first anti-lynching bill was put forth in Congress. You might not be surprised that it did not pass. You know when we finally got an anti-lynching law in America? That's right, 1 year ago, May 2022, a bill banning the practice and classifying it as a hate crime finally passed both houses of Congress and was signed into law by President Joe Biden. 1 year ago. Talk about resistance. Billie may have been targeted for singing it, but her spirit can rest as long as this song lives on. And it has been covered by hundreds and thousands of performers to this day. The fact that we did it here today is a great tribute to how much resistance means. Her resistance may have felt futile in the beginning as she's being pulled off the stage, but it sure was not in the long run. And we have to keep singing it as a reminder of how art is a formidable weapon in the arsenal of resistance. So we never forget or whitewash our history. Here's another interesting story of peaceful resistance that's going on right now. A state senator in Nebraska, Senator Michaela Cavanaugh, has spent weeks filibustering the legislature because of the anti-trans bills being put forth by the majority Republican Senate. She told her colleagues, quote, "If this legislature collectively decides that legislating hate against children is our priority, then I am going to make it painful for everyone. I will burn this session to the ground over this bill." More than 3 weeks she's been doing this now. During that time, not a single bill was passed. Only 3 advanced. That is some powerful, peaceful, meaningful resistance right there. That's how you use power well. But we are not senators. Most of us are not well-known artists with a large following. We're just people trying to make a difference. We are Davids fighting Goliaths, right? But remember how that story ended, my friends? We are people of purpose here. We say that every week. We are people who think everyone is worthy and should be welcomed. We are people who think diversity and equity and intelligence are positive things that we should strive for. They are not woke talking points. Come on. So how do you resist when it feels like you're bringing a spoon to a gunfight, not even a knife? In every way we can. That's how. We don't sit back and let hate mongers scare kids away from a drag story hour. We show up and support them. We don't look away when we see racism or sexism or any other mean-spirited acts. We stand up to those who would bully us and our neighbors. We call them out. We raise our voices in song to drown out the shouts of hucksters trying to sell us false narratives that benefit those in power. We vote, and we have the numbers to win if we show up. So show up. We are the other us here, and we stand in solidarity because love does win in the end, okay? Love wins. I've said this before, I think it is the most powerful force in the universe, and those who preach hate will never understand the grace of God. Jesus was one of the greatest examples of peaceful resistance. We'll talk about more of that next week for Easter. Resistance is not futile. Title of this sermon today, you may be surprised to hear, came from a Star Trek. I know, it's so weird. So there was this collective called the Borg, and they assimilated species from all over, and they traveled in this big, great, powerful cube, and their catchline was sort of, "We are the Borg. You will be assimilated. Resistance is futile." And they did a whole lot of destruction before eventually Starfleet realized, no, resistance is not futile. No, it's not. Even though they seem like the most powerful force in the universe, guess what? We won. Resistance is not futile. It is not. It might take time and a Herculean effort. But I tell you, people, love will win. I have a mighty, mighty faith in that, church. And I have faith in you. And I have faith that we can and will fight longer and stronger than those who oppose the rights and the will of the majority of Americans to live freely. John Stewart, the great John Stewart, recently reminded us that the arc of justice doesn't bend because of gravity. We have to pull it down to where we want it to be. This is our mission. Don't give up. Don't become complacent or cynical. And don't ever think that your words and actions and votes don't matter. They do. Resistance is not futile. It may be bloody exhausting, but it will never be futile. It never has been. Go forth, my friends, and be righteous resistors. Go and spread love and light. Go set the example and be the change you want to see. God bless us all. And God bless this great United States of America. We need all the help we can get. Amen. And now, our final hymn, which is in our gray hymnal, is the great song. What do we got? Number 149. 149. Lift every voice and sing, the great Black anthem.
Lift every voice and sing till the earth heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith of the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that presented has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun, let us march till the victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rods, felt in the days when hope unborn has died, yet with a steady beat have at our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers sighed. We have come over the way that with tears have been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered. Out from the gloomy past till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, Thou hast brought us thus far on the way. Thou who hast by Thy might let us into the light. Keep us forever in the path, we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met Thee. Lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget Thee. Shadowed beneath Thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land.
Thank you, Tony Ann, as always, for leading our hymns. Our closing words are from Maya Angelou. Let us live so we do not regret years of inertia and ignorance. So when we die, we can say all of our energy was dedicated to the noble liberation of the human mind and spirit, beginning with our own. Hold fast, my friends. We love you. Stay strong. Live long and prosper. Spread peace wherever you go. Y'all come back next week for Easter. And join us for a short coffee hour today.